sorry about all the jokes about you.
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. If you don't know me, my name is Brandon, and I'm a school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. We're doing something a little bit different today. It's something that you guys have been asking for over and over again, actually. This is the Fairly Odd Parents, and it's a specific episode that keeps coming up over and over again. Now, I've seen little bits and pieces of the show here and there. I haven't really seen a full episode, just little bits. I've seen this animation style before, but I don't really know like the characters or what it's about. I do remember seeing them in an episode of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, but I don't know much else other than that. I'm taking a look today at an episode called TransParents that keeps coming up again based on you all's recommendations. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the button below to subscribe, and please like the video as well if you don't mind. Let's get into it. Here we go. Love the music. Kind of crazy, really. All right. So again, I don't know anything about the show. I know not all of it is necessarily at the school. I don't know how much actually, but this one clearly is. And so it's right up my alley. Thanks again for the recommendation.
Well, Mr. Crocker, for show and tell, I brung my dog, man.
Okay. And I don't know like what grade they're in. I remember back in the day doing show and tell or some version of that. I actually don't know if it's still done because my experience with elementary schools is very limited. I've worked in mostly middle and high schools, but I do remember show and tell, but you can't bring animals to school. They just don't allow it. You can't bring a cat or a dog or something like that, but this kid obviously did.
This is what he eats. First graders. They keep his pelt shiny.
First
I
graders.
don't know about this, guys.
Oh, don't be nervous, Timmy. You're going.
All right, I'll stop it for a second here. I can see this is going to be pretty crazy, but that's okay. And he says he eats first graders, the dog does. And so, you know, obviously that's one of the reasons that this probably wouldn't fly, bringing animals to school for a whole bunch of reasons. And then I remembered these fairies or whatever they are. I don't actually know. I don't know the show good enough. So they can grant wishes. That's about all I know. And he's in school here, and I suspect he's going to want something here. Let's see.
Going to have the best show and tell day ever. Trust us.
Yeah. How many other kids have fairy godparents that can magically produce an
Fairly
extinct
Godparents.
Polywolyaptosaurus?
That's right.
It was my idea.
No, it was my idea.
Well, it was my idea to take your idea. It was her idea.
Thank you, Francis.
You ever known anybody like that? It's like, you know, I think everybody does that. They want all the credit and none of the blame, right? So he says, oh, it was my idea. Isn't it great? And then the dinosaur spits up on him or whatever he does. And then it's like, it was her idea. It's kind of funny.
That was riveting. Can you guess what letter dog starts with?
D?
Right. Congratulations. Timmy
Report card.
Turner, would you care to come up and bore us with whatever you...
And that's kind of weird because, as everybody knows, you know, report cards are things that come up periodically, typically just a couple of times a year in most schools, particularly elementary schools. You're not going to get something handed to you from the teacher for that specific assignment that says report card, but I get it. They're trying to, they could have just put, I guess, grade or, you know, test grade or whatever, but I don't think you'd be graded on something like this unless he's grading like maybe their presentation skills. But again, my experience with elementary school is somewhat limited.
Dragged into school today.
Fellow
There we go.
students, behold the glory of when the world was young and dinosaurs walked across Pangea.
Behold!
Okay.
The letter that dinosaur starts with.
Dude,
Ooh.
what's with the chicken? It's not a chicken. It's a... No, the dinosaur-like jawbone. And a dinosaur-like tail. And look, a dinosaur-like belly.
A dinosaur. Extraordinary. No normal child could have access to that type of genetic technology.
Uh-oh.
There's only one logical explanation. Fairy godparents!
Yeah, and I don't know from this show, not having seen another episode before, are his fairy godparents or whatever they are they supposed to be a secret? Nobody knows about them, or do they? I don't know. And this teacher does not seem like a particularly good teacher. I don't know what criteria he's supposed to be grading them on. I've never heard of a show and tell type presentation being graded. I mean, is he grading the quality of what they brought in, which would not really be fair? Is he grading the quality of their presentations? Which, maybe. I'm not sure what's going on here, but now he thinks that he has some fairy godparents or whatever. I'm curious to see what happens here. Ugh.
That's all.
And everybody's laughing at the fact that the teacher got spit on, but you'd think it'd be crazy enough just the fact that there's a walking or running little miniature dinosaur. That would freak me out a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Turner, no harm done. I would, however, like to have a word with your fairy parents. Plain, ordinary, everyday, don't have magical powers parents. And first thing tomorrow.
Dude, you gotta help me find my...
Yeah, and parent-teacher conferences, as we call them, are pretty common and should be happening really intermittently all the time. But whenever there is a problem, that is what happens. The teacher does ask to see the parents, but they're not going to say to a first grade student, hey, have your parent call me, and just sort of trust them to do that. A first grade student is 7 or 8 max. So the teacher themselves obviously is going to call the parent and say, hey, can we set up a meeting? I want to talk. But he thinks that he doesn't have regular parents, which I guess he doesn't. And so, but he just says, oh yeah, have them call me. I want to talk to your parents, and then just walks off. Like a 7-year-old kid is not going to be able to set up a meeting between the parents and the teacher. And if they are, good for them. They're doing pretty well in life.
Show and tell thing.
You mean the chicken?
It wasn't a chicken. It was my, uncle's dog in a
Okay.
Polymoleopathosaurus suit. And I gotta get it back.
We're on it. Doesn't anyone say goodbye anymore?
We're
We're really sorry about making show and tell day a mess, Timmy.
Yeah, come on, hit me and make a mess out of me. That'll make you feel better.
I'm gonna need it back.
messed up.
Yeah.
This is kind of messed up. Oh, goodness.
Oh, I can't believe this. How am I gonna explain to my parents that I brought a dinosaur to school?
Well, I don't know, but knocking the candy out of me isn't gonna solve anything.
But he made it up. He said, hey, make a mess out of me. I'm a piñata. And now he's scared. Okay.
Why don't we pretend we're your parents and talk to this Mr. Crocker guy for you?
That's a great idea.
It was my idea.
I wish you guys could pose as my parents.
And they're going to grow. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, you may want to lose the wings and wand and crown if you're going to do this. And I don't know if he has regular parents too. I don't know the show well enough, but let's see what happens.
Yippee! That ouch.
Wow, the plan's already falling apart.
Where's
Okay.
the bat?
Now they look kind of
Welcome
normal.
to the School of Basic Human Training. If you're gonna be my human,
Is he going to whack him with the bat? I hope not, but it looks kind of menacing there.
you're gonna have to act as human as possible.
Okay. What's next?
This.
No, Wanda, no magic. Humans can't do magic.
True.
Oh, what about those guys with the white tigers, huh? In Las Vegas, they have those sequin shirts and they can do magic. And
Not exactly.
Breathe, bird brain. You have lungs now. You have to breathe.
Yeah, you do have to breathe. That's pretty funny.
We'll work on some other human stuff.
Hmm.
You have to use the door now. You can't just walk through walls. You're
Oh, yeah.
solid.
Yeah, they're used to just going through walls and stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
You mean all the time?
This human stuff is fun. We should have tried driving.
Look at her face. Would you be comfortable riding in a car with her? And that's how she's looking. And she's like, this human stuff is fun. And she's behind the wheel with a face like this. I think I would say, please let me out.
Years ago.
Yeah, and look how many friends you're making.
Just worry about making friends with Crocker. Even though you haven't nailed down being human yet, there's no reason for him to suspect you're
Hmm.
Fairy godparents! After all the years of searching, I finally found proof of the existence of fairy godparents!
Okay. Cuckoo.
Only magical creatures could have created that dinosaur. Or right here at Dimsdale Elementary. I've always been the butt of many a cruel joke due to my so-called crackpot theories on the existence.
Yeah, crackpot theories. And just the way this guy acts. I mean, he kind of brings on himself, doesn't he?
Fairy godparents!
Principal Waxaplax. How many crackpots, Crockers, does it take to screw in a light?
All right, Principal Waxelplax, I think is what she said. I guess this is the principal here. This whole show is pretty silly, but I guess she's in the episode as well.
Light bulb? I don't know. Who cares? Crocker's nuts!
Oh, yeah. And I guess I feel I need to say this. So even if you've got a teacher like this, you don't openly say these kind of things about them, especially to other staff members. Now, have I seen this done? Yes, I have. So, but it's never positive, and it always creates kind of a toxic culture within your school. Now, this teacher obviously does have some issues, and so Principal Waxelplax, I think that was her name, as crazy as everything else is on this show, she just needs to talk to him and maybe put him on a professional development plan and work on improving some of these things, namely just his attitude and maybe some of his lessons and the way he's grading. There's a lot there, actually.
It may be just a phone booth inside the janitor's closet. Ouch!
A phone booth inside the janitor's closet. Wow. Needless to say, I've never heard of that.
But after I capture Timmy's fairies and harness their magical powers for my own use, darn it, I'll get not only the proper equipment, but also the respect and...
What is this guy doing? And he wants respect. How about not doing pretty much everything you've done in this episode? That would be a good way to start.
Eluded me! Mine will be a new world order, with I, Mr. Crocker, as the supreme magical ruler.
Okay.
Sorry about all the jokes about you.
She's like, sorry about all the, and she doesn't even finish her sentence, and he just zaps her. That's crazy.
Only then. Where is that coming from? Timmy Turner's fairy godparents will never be able to escape the ever-vigilant eye of my fairy finder!
Fairy finders.
Aha! They're here! Any of
Wow.
my fairy-oriented fairies! Ouch! You're next.
Cool.
Where should I park?
Principal, teachers. Ooh, fairies! Park there! Park in the fairies!
Which, by the way, some schools do have parking spots like this. A lot of them don't. They just have open parking. Anybody can park anywhere. I have seen schools where it will say principal or the vice principal or assistant principal. Even other roles like the secretary, teacher of the year will sometimes get their own parking spot. But as far as other teachers and staff, not really. You just park wherever you want.
If they park in the fairy space, it'll be all the proof the world will need.
Okay.
No, it's a trap.
Sounds like Admiral Akbar from Star Wars a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, that was close.
No, that was so close. Hey, what are you two small boys doing here this early?
Learning? We're trying to find Timmy's show and tell project.
Ah, yes, Timmy's project. Well, Timmy's parents and I are having a conference. And in
All those air
return,
quotes.
I'll give you a seat of power in my new world order.
Done and done.
I was expecting him to say, I'll give you bonus points or I'll give you a snack or something. But he says, I'll give you a seat of power in my new world order. And he doesn't even question it. He doesn't say, new world order? What are you talking about? He just says, okay, that's fine. It's ridiculous.
I think we've finally gotten this walking thing down, Timmy.
It's so weird.
Played cool.
At last, Timmy's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Godturner. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh. Not a good way to start out by doing some sort of martial arts move on him. Yeah, so they would be escorted out of the school, arrested, thrown in jail, the whole 9 yards. And I have seen some parent-teacher conferences start out kind of rough, but not quite that rough.
How's that for a human hello?
You're Kung Social.
Sorry, Mr. Crocker. Mom's,
A fairy?
No. I was gonna say enthusiastic about meeting an educator of your status.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Oh, they're good. I need only to get them to sit in my special electric fairy
Oh, yeah, that seems a little out there. An electric chair. Wow, okay.
detector chair. If they survive, They're fairies! If they don't,
They don't.
I have tenure! May I offer you
Did you catch what he said there? He said, so if they survive, they're fairies, and if they don't survive, I have tenure. I'm not quite sure having tenure would protect him if they died in this little experiment here. Hopefully they don't do it, but let's see.
Certainly. May I offer you a fish?
What? Ooh.
Ooh, neat! Fish sticks! I'm starved!
I'll be right back after I chip off the dead skin.
Mm.
Think he's suspicious, so be on your toes.
Literally.
And
There he is. Ugh.
on 3. Ready? 3. Charge!
Oh, gross.
Take cover!
Oh, gross. So gross. And him eating the trash. I didn't know he was still in the school. I just thought he kind of disappeared magically or something, but apparently he's still running around here.
The forbidden zone. You go
Mhm.
in.
I'm not going in, you go in.
You go in.
I'm not going in, you go in.
You go in.
Coffee?
Why, yes, it is!
Oh, boy.
Pick up.
Can I offer you anything with that? Cream, sugar, magic?
What was
Magic.
that last one?
Sugar?
You go in.
No, you go in.
Look, let's both go in and get out before any girls show up.
Good plan.
Sucker.
Wow, this coffee stuff is great. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Great. Oh, where did they get this stuff?
Columbia.
Oh, we
Oh.
should go there. It's the best. We can go there now. Whoa,
What?
some sort of pressure in my lower tummy.
You have to go to the bathroom now, don't you, Mrs. TransParents?
Oh, boy.
Follow.
See, he knows that they're not really regular humans, and so he's giving them all these things that would be normal for most people, and he's just sort of watching them deal with it because he wants to expose them, I guess. Let's see.
Here you go.
Boys, girls, mystical creatures.
Mm.
Well,
Oh, good morning, Timmy. Uh-oh, it's the principal.
of course, principals first.
How is she walking? So number one, she's like walking on tiptoes or whatever those things are on her feet. And she's going into the mystical creatures bathroom, whatever that is. Let's see what happens here.
New World Order! New World Order!
What?
Maybe I'm naive, but I don't think she's doing it right.
Oh,
Yeah, he'd be in some trouble there. Goodness.
perfect.
We got it. We got it. We got the a dinosaur, Timmy.
Give it to me.
Dude, you gotta give me the box.
Position of power, a seat on the throne, New World Order. Hey!
Before school
Okay.
hours, you ain't the boss of me.
Yeah, that's not really how it works. And I've had students actually do that before, more typically after school. Let's say, you're at school and a student does something against the handbook or even, steals something, gets in a fight with someone. And they don't say this often, but they'll say, oh, it's after school, right? It's after school, right? The bell rang, as if to say, well, the school ended, so I can do whatever I wanted. That's not how it works at all. So the school handbook is in force after school hours, on school campus, even in some situations off school campus, depending on what it is, especially when it comes to making threats and cyberbullying. So he says, well, before school hours, you ain't the boss of me. That's not how it works.
Give me that! Finally, after all the years of being mocked, and all the
Okay.
years of fairies don't exist, with this,
Yeah, I was thinking, can't they just make the dinosaur go back or disappear or go back to where it came from or whatever? They could have done that, I guess, immediately after the show and tell presentation, but they just sort of left it. I'm guessing they're going to make it disappear here.
will prove once and for all that these two creatures are Timmy Turner's Fairly Odd Parents!
Mm. Okay. Oh, it's a dog. Okay. It's that other dog.
Gotta watch out for Crockpot now, you guys. He's totally onto our secret.
A
What's he
week of
doing?
detention for all of you. You for faking your show and tell. You two for going into the girls' bathroom. And you for trapping me in a toilet paper cocoon and promising two small boys they could enslave the earth.
Yeah, so teachers don't get detention. Now, can teachers be disciplined? Absolutely. And typically the principal or assistant principal is going to handle that behind closed doors, according to the personnel handbook or board policy, either have some sort of conference or other actions that they may take against the teacher, particularly if it is an issue, but not quite so bad that the teacher would be fired, but they wouldn't put them in detention with students. I mean, that's just ridiculous, but it is pretty funny here.
You may have outsmarted me this time, Turner, but I'm on to
She
you.
just
They
leaves.
can't keep me in detention forever!
Maybe they can.
Coffee can. Let's get coffee. What's coffee?
All right, that was pretty funny. I can see why you guys recommended this episode of the Fairly Odd Parents. And again, I've seen bits and pieces of the show. I recognize this animation style, but I've never actually seen an episode from beginning to end. That one was pretty funny and definitely had a lot of school-related themes in there. Hopefully you enjoyed my reaction and watching it along with me. Just a reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give the video a like if you can. I'll see you on the next video right here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.